yesterday's meeting because we had some people strolling late, and Mary Powell was really the only one here for the beginning, so we just sat and looked at basic Canvas stuff. So I didn't capture that because she's a brand new user, so we were able to, capture the beginning stuff.
Oh, how did you get informatics and nursing like fancy like that?
I added a picture. Is that
Oh, it's a picture. Okay, because I have pictures in my other ones, but I was trying to figure out how to do that.
Yeah. So for here, for the class, inside of settings, the first option here is to add a picture.
Right. Oh, no, I know how to do that. I was just trying to figure out if you had a text box in there. I'm thinking.
Oh, no. No,
Never mind.
I screenshot the textbook.
Oh.
Yes.
That was a smart idea.
Screenshot the textbook.
Okay.
All
right, that's something you wanted to do. That's something you wanted to teach class.
There you go. There's nice little thing.
Pearl for the day.
Well, then the connection is there for the students. They see the textbook. They see
Right, well, that's why
I like it.
my team chaos.
Yeah. It's great.
I like that. Okay.
All right. So I want to we're going to jump in both worlds. We're going to start in Canvas. I wanted to look at a couple things in Canvas, the stuff that's new this year to Canvas that was highlighted a little bit through TLT emails, but obviously those come in kicking rules with everything else, so a lot of us don't really get a chance to go through that. So I'm going to show you where those tools are, what those tools are, a couple of examples of how they can be integrated into class. But first, I want to do something that I've had multiple requests for and something that Dawn asks for every semester, and a lot of us like to use for attendance sometimes, even though you don't want to admit it, which is just a nice, simple list of student names and numbers, right?
Yeah.
Because we used to be able to just go, 2 years ago, Campus Cruiser, we could just go to our members and export.
Yes.
And that was so easy. So here, I'm just going to go into one of my classes. You're welcome to go into any of your classes. It works the same in every class, right? So one would think that we could come into people and see everyone.
That's right.
Now, I have used this before. There's no way to get this except the same way I got the front image, which is you can just make a screenshot of this.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to, you can go all the way out, screenshot the whole thing, drop it in a Word document, drag it from the bottom corner so you have a much bigger image.
Yeah.
You kind of have a list. But it's not an editable list because it's a picture. You just made a JPEG of what you're seeing. You can't do anything with the typing.
Right.
So in order to get a little bit more flexibility with that, we actually go to the gradebook. Okay. And then inside of the gradebook, we have export CSV file. Okay, and CSV file is another format that opens up in Excel. So, real quick, because when people ask me for this, they're like, oh, there's so much, like, it's really not. You just come from F all the way over to the end, whatever you got here, highlight it all, and delete, okay? And then I grab from the corner, right? And I just double everything.
Yeah.
So I take A to B, 1 to 2, and I made every box double. And I still have everything. I center and center. And there's everything in a nice list.
Yes.
So what I've had done before is some people come and they put the dates up top here for when you're meeting in class, or you can always write the dates in. For those of us that like to keep a paper copy of grades, because maybe you don't trust the grade book, or maybe you do things in class and you grade them through participation or presentation, something like that, and you need something in front of you in class, you can always write in this. You could also just bring up the grade book on your computer in class and type the grades in as you're going through those things. So don't double up on the work. Don't write it down and then come back to the office and just put it in Canvas, right? You can just bring Canvas up in class and grade as the students are presenting or participating or lack of participating, whatever that might be, okay? So the most important thing here is because you spent some time deleting columns and making your boxes a little bit bigger, when you do your save, you need to change this from a CSV file. Okay, CSV files do not hold formatting. So if you save this as a CSV, it's gonna go right back to what it was.
That explains.
And Dawn says, I can't see names, I can't see student numbers, yada, yada, yada. Change this back to just a regular Excel workbook. Okay, and I just do test 1, perfect. And now I'm right here on my desktop. I open it and I get my file right back.
I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I gotta be doing something wrong here.
So here, obviously you guys are a little bit probably more familiar with it when we do the CSV. See,
Yeah.
here's my CSV file.
Right.
It opened right back to my original formatting. It doesn't hold
Right.
what you're doing inside of the Excel document.
So one thing that
Right,
I
Kathy.
had it also on that SIS login, for Dawn, she needs everything as an email so that she can load that into ExamSoft. So I just literally create, on that first one I did at wider.edu and then came down and just kept paste,
Yeah.
because that's not the way that she can actually put it. She needs it in that format.
Oh, got it.
She can't.
She needs the actual email
She
address.
needs the actual email address, and other than that, that means she had to do it, so. But that's,
That changes every address.
right.
No, she just copies the app.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It'd be nice if it saw that you just added the @widener.edu and I could just drag to everybody
But it
and give them the @widener.edu.
Right.
But it doesn't, it just replaces the email
So that-
address.
Hey, Andrew, what if you, humor me a second, what if you made another column where E was and you put @widener.edu and then you merged the.
And then you merge them, you could do that.
Ooh.
So we could do insert and do @widener.edu.
Copy it all the way down.
Copy it all the way down.
It doesn't like that
Oh,
though.
it doesn't like, you gotta change the columns to text.
Yeah, because it doesn't like the @ symbol. It thinks that you're
Change the
referring
And
to.
then if you change it to a text column, then it'll, highlight E altogether. You gotta get rid of the app first.
Even before that.
Yeah, and then highlight the column, and see where it says general, up there, change it to text,
See,
and then try.
Now we could do it.
that would just save me from.
Right, and
from
then
doing it on the
if
same
you
time.
take, and then you merge and center them,
Where's
up above, yeah, merge and center, right there. Where see where it says merge and center?
merge and center
Okay. It only keeps the upper left, oh.
and
So you have to
discards.
merge and center them, that doesn't help.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't.
Yeah, I literally just had to type it in.
Damn it.
But
Yeah, so just a little back end work.
All right,
Yeah.
But it was easier than,
But at least that gives you a way to get a sheet of all student names.
and it gives you those middle initials because it's the same as their email in one.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's the part that always kind of like.
You can always get rid of this. This number doesn't associate with anything else in our system. That 4-digit ID that goes with Canvas. That doesn't mean anything to anybody else. All right,
And then
easy enough on making a sheet?
show
Yeah.
me your front again where you listed them, that's for you to see, not for the students to see.
Say it again.
You had an example where all the students were on the front then,
Oh, for like from the actual people?
yeah.
Is that what you mean? So here?
Uh-huh,
But I'm saying this, if you want to do it this way, I would come in here and do my snipping tool.
right.
you know, on the new one, it's not snipping tool, it's like snipping something.
Oh, yeah, well, it's snip and draw.
Snip and draw.
Okay.
So when I do save as here,
Yeah.
that's in pictures, then I can come into Word and paste that.
Okay, but like you said.
Yeah, but you can't do anything with it then,
No.
right? So here, I would give myself a little bit more room, narrow my margins, yada, 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 insert, pictures, example 1. There's that.
Okay.
So I did that for my first day of freshman seminar because I write people's names down that aren't what is actually on here, or like people who have a tough pronunciation. I try to put something so that I can remember it next to it. So I wouldn't necessarily use this for grading, but you could always use it for reference for something. You have to make a note about a student, or, a special accommodation, or like I said, how to pronounce their name or something like that. It just gives you something tangible to have with you if you don't have the computer in front of you all the
Now,
time.
what grade is this right now? Is this a freshman class?
No, I was gonna say, are you noticing how few pictures there are?
Yes, these are our
And
juniors.
they're so small,
Yeah,
and they're so small, you can't see them. You really
I'm glad-
My picture's in there.
No, I'm
Just
glad
saying.
you're pulling that up, that I want to find out where's the disconnect, because they said they worked on that with picture rosters.
Yeah, they said they were all supposed to be in.
Why wouldn't juniors? I could understand.
well, no, the picture rosters were colleague picture rosters. There's nothing that pushes pictures to Canvas. That is them having to go in and put their picture in.
Oh,
Yeah, because you'll
Yeah.
notice that the students, some of them are on the beach, some of them are on the boat, some of
You
them.
know
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, they're.
There is no import
When you
there.
go into your registration, maybe you make them all upload a picture.
yeah, I could do that in the freshman seminar.
Yeah.
I say it in freshman seminar.
Yeah.
So like when they came in that first day, I think I had maybe 2 kids who had pictures. Let's see if we're doing better. Yeah, I got a couple, and I'll give them heck tomorrow again. I still have some that are missing.
Yeah, see, they're all different.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because, no, on their IDs, they're all personal too. They don't take their pictures.
Oh, really?
I didn't even notice that.
Yes, they
Yeah,
don't
that's
take
started
their
like
pictures.
3 years ago that they put up their own.
They
picture.
upload
Yeah.
their pictures.
But I'm
Other
gonna remind
schools
them,
do that too.
but I'm gonna remind them in pre-advising, it needs to be a professional picture.
Yeah, professional
You
picture.
know, I don't need to see.
All right.
You know, especially the freshmen, they have their graduation picture.
Yeah.
It's like, well, put on
That
your
one.
graduation picture.
All right, easy enough for making a list?
Not one with a beer
All right.
in your hand.
Yeah, that's what I said. I don't want one with a keg stand. I want one with you just standing. All right, I want to look at the new tools in Canvas for this year. Okay, so in order to do this, all of these sleep inside of any HTML window, meaning anywhere you can type. So if you're in a page, if you're in assignment, if you're in a comment, if you're in a message board, all the tools are in the same place. So let's go to, let's not go there because the juniors will freak out. Let's go to freshman seminar. And I'm just gonna bring up
Okay, you want us just to open a course?
yeah, open a course.
Oh, does it have to have a course with modules?
It does not. It could be anywhere you get an HTML window.
Okay.
So for me, I'm gonna go to a module. It could be in a discussion board. It could be in an actual assignment, anywhere.
Okay.
So here, like I'm in this is my late assignment submission, so I'll go here and I edit.
Oh.
So when I mean HTML window, I mean I get this window with all of my tools,
Okay.
right? This is your HTML window, all right? Anywhere you can type in Canvas, right? So normally I just do my descriptive text here. HTML is the language that sleeps in the background that tells the computer what's actually happening. But that's beyond what we're doing. Okay, so in this window, we have all of our formatting tools that we're used to. We have tables, videos, links, pictures, equations, YouTube, Creative Commons. This is where our external tools are. More external tools, which is that kind of like
V.
upside down V caret. Okay,
Oh, it's
this is where all of our stuff that doesn't sleep inside of this window is.
Ah,
Okay.
ah.
So some of this stuff was here prior, okay? The math equation is the same thing as this math equation. Okay, so just double dipping there. Obviously Khan Academy, we all know for videos, right? That's you literally just clicking Khan Academy and then you searching through the hierarchy. Now, what I found is as I work with some people who already have Khan Academy videos, there isn't like a search in here. So if you're looking for a very general topic, this is a good way to do it. If you have a very specific video on a concept that might take forever to kind of make your way through the layers to find, we just copy and paste the URL in here. It will see it as a Khan Academy video and bring it up.
Got it.
But say like here I am in science, and I'm working inside of biology, and I want to work on the properties of carbon, and carbon's a building block of life. Sounds great. I'm just clicking embed. Okay, video pops
Wow,
up.
that makes it easier than.
Okay, know that all Khan Academy videos are on YouTube's domain. So even if you're going to Khan Academy, the video is still on YouTube.
Oh.
If you go to YouTube and you search these concepts, chances are those top results are Khan Academy. They have a great business partnership. Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
So all of that stuff is there. So so now I have this video. How the heck do I get rid of it? If this window doesn't make it very easy to get rid of. Okay, you can come down here and do the delete all the way at the bottom, or for a very quick delete, you can always come in here. Let me jump back in here and grab a video.
Oh.
You can always come up to the HTML editor and delete everything there. Okay, so back and forth. Because obviously if you have you have multiple videos on the page, and say there's a sequence of 6 and you want to delete the third one, it might be hard to get that cursor in the right place. So for then you just go into the language, find where that video is, and delete the text. And then that way you can extract that from kind of that sequence. I think, I wouldn't say a lot of us, but we do have some people who use kind of the sequence of videos or the playlist per se on certain concepts, a little bit of flipped learning style, or just supplemental stuff outside of sitting down in class. So other than Khan Academy, Dropbox, if you want to link to Dropbox, that's awesome. I would hope that anything you have in Dropbox is also in your OneDrive. But that's just me saying that. I know that some of us have feet in other worlds, or you might have stuff from other jobs that are in Dropbox, or other organizations or things like that. That's just another way to link that stuff there. Just need to make sure that your sharing settings on the document in Dropbox correlate with what you're putting here. If you put something up here that isn't set to share inside of your Dropbox account, it will put the link, but then the user is going to get an error that they can't access. Same thing with OneDrive. You can send a link, but you still have to give people access to it. So you have to make sure that your share settings are set up correctly in the host, in this case Dropbox, in order for that stuff to be accessible for students. Okay? I haven't used a whole lot of the interactive content, so I'm not going to speak to that at the moment. We all know Screencast-O-Matic. This is very quick for videos.
For us to make them?
Yes, for you to make them. So what this does is it creates your Screencast-O-Matic account and links you here, but it links you with a basic account. So if this is something for, say, a description on an assignment, perfect. 5 minutes, this is what it is, this is how you do it, great, you can make the video right there. If it is something where you're doing a PowerPoint or you're doing a lecture, I would encourage you to still use Zoom, because that gives us the pro account and it gives us the ability to share our screens. You still have the ability to share screens in Screencast-O-Matic, but you're stuck at, I think, 15 minutes because this is a free tool inside of Canvas. Okay, we don't have a subscription to that tool.
So
All right.
when you're saying Zoom and do a lecture, are you saying that we could just, you don't have to actually have the Zoom room set up with somebody else? You can actually just tape it?
With you.
Yeah, for sure.
You create a Zoom.
Yeah, we have multiple people who do that for their lectures. Yeah, with yourself.
And tape it.
Yep, and bring yourself up and share your PowerPoint screen, and then you're up here dictating through whatever's on your screen. Yeah. So Screencast-O-Matic is good. Know that you can also, you don't have to use that. This allows you to.
That's what I've been trying.
Where's my video? Did they take that away when they did Screencast-O-Matic? Oh no, here. Record, upload media. So here, I'm recording a video as well. So the downside to this is there is no share screen. So if you're explaining something or showing an example, Screencast-O-Matic or Zoom give you the capability to share what you're looking at. Here, you just get a picture of yourself.
This is actually nice though, to do like a little introduction. to
Oh
the
yeah, for sure.
course, and
Introduction to the
you can
course.
Introduce yourself.
Or Paula Gray uses it for feedback when she has people submit care plans or papers or things like that. And instead of typing all that out, she records a 3-minute video. And she says she can get way more out. You can get way more out and be way more productive in 3 minutes of talking than you could ever do in 300 words of typing.
Right, so where was that under?
This is just right here, right next to our upside down V, or our regular V, I should say. It's just a square with a play sign.
That's neat. That's really cool. I like that.
So it asks you, can I use your webcam? Yes, you may use my webcam. And then here I am.
And then I'm assuming the upload media is
if you're already done, if you already have the media.
Oh, if you already, so what happens, so you're gonna record,
Yep.
and then when it's done,
So this is my example, and I'm going to record, and when I'm done, it's going to place a link inside of my window.
oh, so you don't have to do any upload.
No, it just builds it right in.
There it is.
Oh, okay. Thank you. That's just what I needed.
And then that way they can just hit play and go. So I think it's really in my brain, I think it's the best use for this is describing an assignment. For sitting down, saying, this is what it looks like. This is how it should sound. It should be in this kind of format. These are the sources you should have. Really quick and easy that for someone, especially maybe not some of our upperclassmen or some of our graduate students, maybe some of our first year graduate students, but seeing it on paper is very daunting. Someone talking you through it and explaining it to you in a calm, reassuring voice is much more productive than here's the paper, here's the 12 things that need to be done inside of it. And again, it's, oh wait, what did she say? Rewind it. Or dang, I watched that yesterday, I forget what I had to do. Watch it again. It's not, can I reach out to you for another question? Everything is answered inside of the video. Rewatch the video. So you're providing it for them right there. Okay, so great use of that.
That's actually a really good idea.
Do the monitors in my office have, yeah, there's a little.
Do you have a laptop?
I have a laptop.
Yes, your laptop has the camera.
Okay.
So if you were to use this, you would just have to open the laptop screen. If for some reason, and my wife doesn't like the laptop screen because it looks up like this and she doesn't like the way her chin looks. So if you're that person, that's perfectly fine. I have external webcams and I can just plug it into the side of your computer and then your webcam's up here and it's more of a forward facing.
You have them?
Yeah.
I have that, yes. So you just let me know and I'll just plug one into your computer. Yep, for whenever you need it. All right, easy enough with that.
Oh, that's cool.
The next, obviously there are a ridiculous amount of tools in here. The other one that is probably pretty popular are Quizlets, right? We have tests, we can put sample questions or we can pull sample questions that are already made. That stuff can be made available right there.
Some of our test banks are included.
Some of your test banks are in there. You have TED Talks. You have Twitter feeds. You know, if you want students to follow a certain subject or follow I'm still at the V.
Scroll down. You have to
Scrolling down.
I didn't realize you could scroll down. It's no
Yeah. And we just have, it looks like we just have some double dipping here in this list.
Well, I looked up Merlot. It is not about wine, so don't look at it.
No, that's a scholarly.
Scroll down. You can scroll down the bottom.
They don't have TED Talks in
I
here.
don't have any, I think. Well, you don't. Yeah. I didn't think I would. Those are the one.
I honestly think that's it. Do you have Twitter on that list?
Mine is down, but this doesn't have Quizlet or anything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Flat World Knowledge.
Maybe because this is populated through that button, try coming out, going back in.
Okay, I'm Merlot too. Okay.
Yeah, because look, mine didn't load right either because I have Twitter, Venmo, Flat World Knowledge, Quizlet, TED, Twitter, Venmo, and loaded everything twice. So it might not load it. It might load it twice. Just come out, back in.
Okay.
All right. The only other thing I wanted to say here, and a lot of us already use this, but I wanted to make sure that for maybe if we're not aware of it, is don't make the students hunt and peck for everything. When you're in a class, everything you have is linkable in this window. So if you're referring students back to an announcement or back to an old assignment, or the next thing they have to do is a quiz, or you want them to look at a PowerPoint, if you want a PowerPoint, go into files and drop that PowerPoint there for them. If you're telling them that the next thing they have to do is a quiz, come in here and drop that quiz so they can just click on it and go to it. Okay, then it's, oh, well, I didn't know I had to go there, or I didn't know where to go. Rather than navigating, especially those of us who use modules and say, in module 2, you need to do boom, 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 and boom. Rather than typing those things, just put 1, find number 1 in your Canvas tools. 2, find number 2 in your Canvas tools. 3, submit an assignment, put the assignment over there. 4s, look at a PowerPoint, put the PowerPoint over there. So when I click on module 2, my 5 things, I just make my way down the list with hot links. I'm not, oh wait, where is that quiz? Do I go into quizzes? Or some of us like to put discussions in assignments. Others of us like to just put discussions in discussions. That's confusing as all heck. So when you have those things, put those things in front of those students so you're not getting the emails at 12:50 or at 11:58 when it's due at 11:59. Hey, where do I find this?
But the students also on that main page have the course summary with everything that they
Yes,
need
ideally they
for
do.
the whole semester
Ideally they do.
in their face.
Ideally they do.
They would have to scroll down.
They would have to
though.
scroll down.
Oh,
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
on.
But I just think that's a great way to link that content. So just want to make sure we're using that tool. All right. Anything else on Canvas before I jump in Outlook?
Can I
Yeah.
ask you a question?
sure.
So, and I don't know quite how to do this. So when I make assignments, I also make assignments that are reading assignments, like read chapters 1, 2, and 3. But then those reading assignments show up in the grade book. Is there a way to have them not show up in the grade book?
Do you use modules?
Yes.
Yes. So then the way to do that would be inside of your modules, do your plus for whatever module you're in, and instead of assignment, just make it a page. And that gives you reading assignments, if you're spelling it correctly, module 1, add item. That gives me a blank slate to write anything I need on this page.
Okay, because I put in there not graded.
Right.
You know.
But it still makes all the columns on your grade book.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have the same problem. Okay,
Yes.
so.
Yeah.
My thing looks like a million things.
Me
and I'm like,
too.
and then it says, well, it can't calculate it because this isn't a real grade. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
And you got the exclamation point because
Yeah.
they're saying that there's things out, and then students are, how comes this isn't in there?
Right,
It causes a lot of
confusing.
confusion and misconception.
So show me that again.
So again, no problem. Modules, okay, plus, and it always defaults to assignment. So we're so used to just letting it stay there. But inside of that is just page.
Page.
Drop down.
So
Okay,
you add
everything
page.
that's already created on Canvas is technically a page. We just don't call it that. So your other stuff that you've made in here, you're gonna see here. But when you're doing like new module or module 2 reading assignments, module 3 reading assignments, you're doing new page, and then it gives you the opportunity to give it a name.
So if you already built a course and you have the reading assignment as an assignment, can you edit your assignment and change it to a page?
No,
No.
when you have already created something as its placeholder, assignment, quiz, discussion board page, there is no way to change that top level.
Got
You
it.
have to
So
recreate.
you have to do it over.
You gotta do it over.
Okay,
And I've
that's.
done.
So it sounds like, so I would leave it the way you have it now, but next time you run it, know that you want to spend a little bit of time on the front end to create some pages. Yep.
Okay, all right.
And then that way you're right, you clean up the grade book a whole lot.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Anything else in Canvas?
I'm glad you were in there
I
with
was
me.
like, what that, and I would try like different ways, and like never thinking to not call it an
It's
assignment.
great, I never thought not called it an
Because I'm
assignment
like,
either. Because it's a reading assignment. So
Right.
your brain goes
Yeah.
to assignment, so.
And my brain's like, if I click something.
Everyone go on Canvas before I jump in Outlook.
Can I
Right.
see them?
It'll end up 4 time some places. Oh, I do have one question.
Yeah.
Is there a way to, one of the things that what I'm personally struggling with, when I have 20 groups of clinical groups, and I now need to add a folder for one thing, I cannot copy, I literally have to go in and do all to my,
Yep.
never mind. That's not usable.
I know, it's not.
It's.
And there are a bunch of comments in the Canvas community that say that exact same thing. That I have multiple sections of something, I want to go in and do this, why can't I do that across the board?
Because I've been afraid.
Announcements,
Yeah.
folders,
Yeah.
assignments,
Yeah.
grading,
You can't.
they know.
All right.
And hopefully they come up with something, but they definitely know that that's what people
why I
want.
waited to create these things from the very beginning, because I wanted to at least have the number of assignments that I could, rather than having to build 22 individual
Yeah,
clinical sites.
Yeah.
And which is what I
Yeah.
spent probably 3 days.
Yeah.
well, and really, it's a double-edged sword, because we had
It's fine.
Tiffany last semester who wanted to do that same thing, so she didn't have to do that. She took all of her maternity clinicals and put them together. But then that caused a ridiculous amount of confusion,
I don't-
because now clinical site coordinators
They don't know.
couldn't communicate with their own groups, because everyone's now in the same section.
Right, right.
So they have to be really good with their stuff. And then on top of that, in evals, when you went to go do evals, you got a list of all the clinical coordinators, and you had to find your own
I'm fine.
to do your eval. And that was just,
Okay, don't do that.
yeah,
Oh,
no
I
thank
won't.
you.
I
Yeah,
promise.
that was the last, we did that once. We did that one
But
time.
you know, it's how we learn.
Yeah.
Right, but that's why, like,
Yeah.
I waited until I had as many pieces populated so that I.
Yeah, you're always gonna have to do that. And I find that, I do that with informatics every semester.
Right,
I go in and then inevitably I miss a date
right.
or I miss an assignment or something, and I still have to go in and change every single one of them no matter what.
Right.
Or like this year, I left the old resume date in somewhere for 2 Fridays ago. So don't you know, 3 kids showed up for that date. Even though that was the only place that was, and it was the wrong year in Canvas, I missed it in one spot, and people from informatics were showing up for the clinical.
That's
It's
right.
like, guys, you're killing me. So yeah, it's a live and a learn thing.
Yeah, it's.
All right, I'm gonna jump out of Canvas because we got about 25 minutes and jump over into Outlook.
Okay.
All right.
Outlook right now.
Thing number 1 is obviously over the last 8 days, Outlook's
Sure did.
appearance has changed dramatically.
Yes. It scared me.
Okay.
I was like, no.
The calendar, I was like, oh my God.
No one was aware.
Yeah,
No one was told. It just happened. It's all good. We modify and adjust. Okay? So first thing I want to point out is obviously everything is still here. Might just be in a little bit of a different place. Might just look a little bit different. Okay, so on your left-hand side, you still have all of your folders, everything. I'm going to jump right down into where we probably all spend a lot of time, which is our groups.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to go to our SON group. Okay, our SON group is where we keep everything SON. Okay, for you, not so confusing. For the person who does it all, a little bit confusing. So we have SON, we have SON faculty, and we have nursing office. Nursing office is students. Okay, it's them walking into the office. Everything they need for the nursing is in the office. Okay. SON, our SON is syllabi, course reports, handbooks, scholarly activity form, SKIDA, instructional technology resources, all of that stuff. So normally, here's Andrew, rewind, just 2 months ago that said, guys, in order to get to this, look up in your top hand bar and find the 3 dots. Well, the top hand bar is not there anymore. The bar is now just right here in this little compact area. So we used to have a whole bar up top here where this Marcus red was, and they moved everything just into this little schnurly box. Okay, so you have send email, you have a shortcut to all the documents, you have the calendar, and then now here are our 3 dots to get to our site. Okay, and
Oh,
then
so the document square is not,
It's not real.
it's not really document.
No,
it is documents.
but it doesn't.
But what this does is notice when you go into documents, it gives you two views. Most recent, which is probably not what you're looking for. You're looking for something specific. Then you get the actual list of documents. Okay, this list of documents is the same thing that's in SON documents.
Oh, got it.
You're just getting the view in a different place.
Got it.
Okay, so you're still gonna find the same stuff. It's just, do you want a more compact view? Notice they only give you a quarter of the screen here. If you go into SON, you get a much bigger view.
Got it.
Help for longer file names, right? Because I can always do this to get a little bit more if I need to. Okay. So we used to have the ability for everyone to go in and do this, not so much. Spent a lot of time cleaning it up. So now our restrictions are a little bit more. If there's something that you need submitted or something you need put in a folder or something like that, that stuff just has to be brought to an admin. Myself or an administrative assistant in undergrad or grad can help you put stuff in. Ideally, just email it to me so they don't have more work. I'll get it in there, no problem. Okay? So inside of that, all of this stuff here is the same. The only place I want to highlight is this instructional technology page. Okay, a lot of this stuff is stuff that we use all the time, but this form, Canvas Resources from TLT, is the new form that's used for anything Canvas. So we used to be able to go into Canvas and hit start a new course. They took that button away, okay? So anything that needs to be done from scratch needs to be submitted through the form. Okay, we had way too many people creating holds, dummy classes, advising courses, and TLT couldn't keep up with it anymore. So they took that away, and now everything just goes to Jess. She'll create it.
Recently now.
Yeah, it was just this over the summer.
Yeah.
It just took away, because they didn't realize what had been done. There was just so much out there that there was no way for them to say, we have this many advising courses, or this is what people are doing for holds. Because everyone was naming things differently, that was all over the place. So they said, we just need to kind of central this, and they brought it back in. So all we do here is click on the form, which is tied to your name, and you complete whatever you need to. Okay, most of this stuff we do here in-house, right? I can call Jess and get a class created, but if you're like sitting at home, right, and you're thinking, oh man, I would really love a hold course for this class, or oh man, I forgot to do that advising course, I would like that to be done, early next week. Come in, click on the form, submit it. She gets a notification that someone has submitted, and she goes in and gets it done. I've never had anything on here not done within 24 hours. Okay, so she's really on top of it. I wish that I still had that permission. We looked into it. She can't give it to individual admins. She has to either give it to all admins, and she didn't feel comfortable doing that, so she just has it. Okay, so that's where we are at the moment.
So if we need to get like an old course that you want to be able to have somebody be able to see what was done in the course previous, you would put this form in.
You would, and the way that works is we can't put people in old courses. What would happen is you would request a blank course, and then you would import your old course into the blank course. And then then you can control who comes in and out. But they stopped allowing us to put old people in old enrollments, because then if we're looking back at records and we see Rose was added to some class and Rose was never the teacher of record in that class, why is Rose listed as an instructor in that class? Oh, well, she wanted to see this assignment from 3 years ago. Well, that kind of screws that up. So for record keeping purposes, once enrollment or the semester has ended, people in that course freeze. You can't pull in and out anymore. So if you want someone to see that stuff, you just have to request a blank old course, blank slate, and then we import whatever class that is into the blank place. And then you can put people in it.
Okay.
Linda.
Under commonly used resources, maybe download in a different place, but could Nurse Tim be there? Or under your IT commonly used resource? Is Nurse Tim
Sure.
more specific?
I don't have Nurse Tim anywhere, but I can certainly put Nurse Tim there.
Well, it was put in the orientation.
piece
The
of it.
orientation module.
Oh, okay, but I'm just.
Oh, in
I'm
Canvas.
just developing a teaching learning community, so that's where
Okay.
I thought it would start plugging that stuff in, but I guess it could be there.
Yeah.
You know what though, does it make sense to have a teaching learning community? Could Donna create a teaching learning community as part of this SON, or no, it's gotta be her own page, her own group?
Well,
I made my own. group.
she made her own
Make your own
group,
group.
but
Okay,
I can
okay.
always link that group to this page. I can always put the teaching and learning community in SON, and when they click on it, they just go to that group.
Oh, that's actually a
Yeah.
good idea.
So we're not recreating, we're just creating another pathway
Right.
to getting to that group.
That's actually a great
So we
idea.
can look into that.
The more places it is, the
Yeah.
more people will
Yeah.
think about.
Donna, in that canvas, where is Nurse Tim? It doesn't jump out at me, so I'm in your new faculty. I'm trying to.
Under the orientation,
Yeah,
it should be under,
I looked under technology resource for faculty, what else?
it's under one of the,
That's what I'm saying, the link, if it,
We'll look into it.
Yep.
We'll find it. All right, so that is groups, right? That is the way to get to our site. That is the form that we can use to get further Canvas help. And obviously anything else that's going on here. We also got sent that wider template yesterday. I put that link right here as well.
Yeah,
So you don't have to find the email.
It's actually
It's
really
right there.
nice template.
Okay, so you can literally just click on it and it comes up in PowerPoint and you can download it and make it your own. Okay? So same thing, as that stuff comes out to us, I try to make it available on here as well. Because I know that emails are cluttered as all heck. So I try to put that stuff front and center for us. All right, I wanted to jump into calendar. Because this is identified as my biggest area that we can improve.
Wow, your calendar looks so different than my calendar.
All right, so in calendar, you have what calendars
Oh,
you're
you have a
seeing.
month.
Yes, I have a month.
Okay,
You have what calendars you're seeing on the left-hand side. For the majority of us, it's just our own. If you are assisting or an administrative assistant to someone, or you help people schedule meetings or things like that, you might have others listed here. Or you can always pull calendars from other places, like I have an old academic calendar in here. I also have the Pittsburgh Steelers schedule
there you
in here, so I can always overlay
There are priorities.
to get that. Absolutely, Rose, let's be honest. So here, notice that when you overlay, it starts to color code for you. So my calendar's in blue because I have the blue check mark. Steelers are in green with the green check mark. And then here comes Rose in purple with the purple check mark. So it gets very cluttered once you get Roses up there.
Sorry.
But as you have more, especially for if you're scheduling for other people and you need to look at their calendar, that's one way to view that, okay? So obviously, I don't have everyone's calendar available to me, but I want to have a meeting with people, okay? So what I'm going to do is come up and click on New Event at the top, and I would love for you to do this with me, because there are two ways that we can kind of get an insight as to if someone is available for a conversation, a cooperative learning activity, a teaching and learning phenomenon, spectacular day, whatever that might be, okay? So number one is using scheduling assistant, okay? And it's exactly what it sounds. It's an assistant that helps you schedule. And this works absolutely fantastic if people are actually using their calendar. If they're not using their calendar, you're going to see times that are wide open and they might not actually be wide open. So I know that Rose uses her calendar. I also know that Linda uses her calendar. Now, I'm showing you these two examples for a reason. Here's me, right? It shows what I'm doing because I'm looking at my own calendar. Here's Rose. It shows what she's doing because she has given me rights to her calendar. Rose is on my left-hand side here. I can see Rose's calendar.
And he can see my content.
Yes. And here's Linda. I don't have the rights to Linda's calendar. So this is where I don't want to do my calendar. I don't want people to know when I'm going to the doctor. I don't need them to know that I'm going on vacation and I'm not going to be here. I have no idea what you're doing. I just get blue blocks. Okay, so that's the biggest pushback. I don't want people to know where I am. We don't know where you are. You're not here for the day. Just create busy through the whole day so people know that you're not going to be on campus. Or if you have class during that time, make a reoccurring event every Thursday from 11 to 12:15. You have a blue block because you know you're at class at that time. So we're not going in and scheduling meetings and saying, well, why weren't you there? Or Rose isn't trying to do interviews saying, why didn't anyone show up? Right? Having those things there allows for not perfect communication, but certainly a little bit better communication on the front end when it comes to coordinating everyone's schedule. Okay? So for here, I can see that today, if I wanted to meet with these two people, right here looks great. From 2 to 3. Okay? I just drug over 2 to 3 and I hit done. That created that meeting from me from 2 to 3. I add a title, I send it off. They get an invitation. Title, same way you did for this meeting here today, accept, tentative, decline. Would you like to send a comment or would you like to just decline? Whatever you would like to do. But then you get the opportunity to do that. And as soon as you hit accept, boom, right on the calendar it goes. And for me, as the user of, here's today, I can see who has told me what they're doing. Here's me as the organizer. Here's the 9 people that said they were going to be here. Not so many, 9. Here's the 2 that said maybe, the 6 that said no, and then who didn't respond. Just SO, thank goodness, because that's a whole group. No one can't respond. But I was really impressed that we got everyone to respond to this. So they saw the invitation. I know as the organizer, at least they're seeing that it's happening. They might have something else going on, but I can always catch up with someone on the end. Hey, what happened in that meeting? Hey, what was going on? So at least the communication is there. It's not, oh, I forgot about that one. I didn't even put it on my calendar. Even if you hit tentative, it still goes on your calendar. It's just, maybe you can go, maybe you can't go. But at least that visual, holy geez, I really had a brain fart. That visual is there for you to see the event, even if you aren't going to the event. So the thought is there, you're right. Okay, so, again, works really great. Oh, no, I don't want to cancel my, yes, I'll discard changes. Okay, good. I almost canceled what we're doing right now.
Now, can you start this and then save it if you're not ready to send it out yet?
Yes, it just goes to drafts. You should just be able to discard there. Or no, an event, no.
So you have to decide to start.
An email will go to drafts, but there is no drafts in the calendar.
Okay.
So when you start the event, you're sending it off or you're throwing it away. Yeah, there is no middle ground. So the next option, besides scheduling assistant,
Oh, this is cool.
3 dots. I have a tool called Find Time. If you do not have that tool, click Get Add-ins. And then once you see Find Time, just click Add. And FYI, Rose, we need to explore this
Yes.
for contracts.
Okay.
I don't know what additional we might need to purchase there, but we might be able to send those off and get signatures right inside the email.
We use that.
But we need to venture out and see what that tool is like inside of it. But that's a whole nother conversation.
Oh, where did it go? Oh, there it is.
All right. Did we all get Find Time and add it?
No.
Yep.
Mine added it not under the dots though.
It will.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, do plus
It'll-
new
it'll-
event,
It might be your first time.
Oh,
using it.
3 dots.
Wow.
and then get add-ins,
Link.
and then find time.
Link find time to work.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. So what Find Time is Doodle's competitor. Okay, so Microsoft teamed up with Find Time, and what you're doing is you're creating a Doodle inside of your Microsoft email. Okay, but everything is in-house. So when people accept the meeting, it goes on your calendar. So there's no double dipping anymore. It's not, okay, here's the 6 times I chose. Okay, this is when Sue said the event is. Okay, let me go to my calendar and put it in. All of that's out. When you get the email, you choose which ones you want. You go in, it gets put right on your calendar. Okay, so let's look at that. 3 dots, find time. I do believe there's a little bit of an authentication to start if it's your first time using it.
Yeah, I'm done back out and done back in.
But the first thing it looks for is who are you trying to invite? I'm just going to put Rose for this instance.
Sure. Invite me.
And I have a whole new window here on the right-hand side. This is the Find Time app that you're using to find time. This is still your email meeting invitation over here, right? So we kind of have 2 things going here. What I really love about this is that it kind of shows you scheduling assistant inside of Find Time with our little silhouettes. So these 2 people right here are me and Rose. We're both green, which means we're both available at this time. Okay, if I go down here
I know I'm having trouble too.
to 10 a.m., you might have to go out and back in. I can see that I'm busy, but Rose is available. So the silhouettes change depending on the times. Did you guys get it yet?
No, I can't get past the add some attendees first.
Oh, you need to add attendees.
Oh,
So up in your 2, put me
Yeah.
or put somebody. Then it will come up. There you go.
there you go. Okay, got it.
Gotta do your new meeting. There you go. Nice job. And then invite me. Or invite anybody. Now do your 3 dots. Get add-ins.
So you could write a bunch of people on the invite?
So we could add all
Where's
our
my phone?
advisees, add all our advisees, then they have the link, then they can sign in.
Oh, you did say add? Do my add-ins.
Nice.
My add-ins.
Instead of
What is
you
it?
sending out that acuity thing, I can't find that, what the hell's that on?
How about get started?
And that only loaded every.
So then
time.
how do you do this? You just pick a bunch of times?
Yeah, well, right, so.
So if I pick
Oh, here it
like
is.
all of these, oh my God, that would be.
Right, so I would say movement, right?
All right, so here I am. I'm gonna propose a meeting for Rose and myself. Here are my days, Friday the 20th. You can always pick multiple days. So I can pick the 23rd, a time on the 23rd, a time on the 24th, a time on the 20th, whatever I want. So here I'll go back to the 20th. I'll say 8:30, 9. Then I'll go to the 23rd. I'll say 10 or 10:30. Look at the bottom. I have 4 times selected so far. I can go to the 24th, say 11:30, and do next. Okay, I get a nice visual of the 5 times that I'm allowing Rose to choose from as to when this meeting is going to
This all
occur.
hinges on that everyone has their calendar populated, correct?
No,
Oh, no.
no, that's the beauty about 5 times, because now you're taking a poll. The scheduling assistant hinges on people having the blocks of time. But here, this allows me to poll people as to what time they may be available. It's a little bit more useful if they don't have the
One
calendar.
student
Right.
can sign in.
And Donna,
I think
same
once it's
time.
signed in, it's gone, I would think it's gone.
So let me show you, this is where it gets a little confusing because I did this with Sue yesterday and we double dipped. Once I did this and I picked my find times, and then down at the bottom I have insert to email. This is the only thing that gets sent. Okay, this is an email to Rose with the find time information window inside of it. And this is a link to select which one she wants. I do not need to do this anymore. Okay, this invitation is nil because Rose has not picked a time yet. Okay, the system will make an invitation and put it on your calendar once Rose has selected a time. So as soon as my email is ready, I'm going to send this to you, Rose.
Okay,
Once I send this to Rose, I can come out of this extension. I don't need this event anymore.
Sorry, I'll go to
So conceivably, we could put all of our advisees into this calendar meeting. Put in times, once they pick it, it'll load to their calendar or mine?
No, because if you were to do that, you would only want one advisee at a time. What this is doing is finding a time where everyone is available. Finding time is made to poll for a group of people. So if I want to meet with 6 people, I'm taking a poll as to when all of those 6 people can come at the same time. So not made for our advisors.
So what, so we're back to scheduling it, that's scheduling.
You're either doing it in Acuity or in your Canvas group.
Acuity.
Yeah.
I
So
think
here,
I did
look,
my Canvas group, which worked out well last time.
good.
Yeah, I did it.
I get 2 notifications. One that says that Rose has voted. Thank you, Rose, for voting.
Yeah, I only picked one time.
That's perfectly fine. I like to say that I trust here. So I get a nice visual. This is the one Rose wanted, right? It's got a heart next to it. She told me she couldn't do these other ones. So my time is going to be for 8:30. And that's what this is going to be my finalized as. So September 20th at 8:30 is my meeting. If I go back to my calendar, here's my September 20th at 8:30 meeting with Rose.
I need you to go to my calendar because it's now on there too.
Good. So we should have double 8:30s. There we are, both
And
on Sue's vacation day.
on Sue's vacation day.
So we can both meet at 8:30. The one thing that I found yesterday doing this with Sue, I'm sorry, I went over my hour, so I'm gonna let you go after this. The one thing I saw yesterday with Sue is the system picks the first available time for everyone. So if everyone says that they're available at 8 o'clock in the morning on a certain day, and then everyone also says they're available at 9 o'clock, it's gonna pick the 8 o'clock. Okay, because that's the first instance of everyone being available. You as the originator just need to go into the meeting invitation that has now been created for, say, the 8:30 meeting and change that to the new time. Okay, so if everyone said they were also available at 9, let's not make everyone come at 8 if they're also available at 9. You just have to do back end work. There's no way to say to the system, well, if everyone's available at 8 and they're available at 9, let's do 9 because I don't want to have to come in at 8. Not going to happen. So it finds the first instance of all availability, and then if you need to adjust, you can always adjust because you got this piece of information here inside of your email as to how everyone voted. So because it was only me and Rose, it's only going to show us. But if we have 6 people, I can go in and see, okay, these 6 people are available at this time, but they're also available at this time. Certainly helps with rescheduling too. Something comes up with one of those people and they say, well, is there another time where we can meet? Oh yeah, everyone said they were available at this time and they too. So you can just adjust the meeting for them. And of course, since it's on your calendar already, all those attendees will get, hey, your meeting has been adjusted. It is now at this time and this date. We get a notification in our inbox that that has occurred. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And working closely with Sue to hopefully get this underneath her wings so we can get the doodles and stuff.
Yes.
But that is a great place to start because those are the people that make meetings for everyone.
And this works for anybody within Wyden.
Anyone
So
within
if I
Widener.
want to make an appointment with the people from social.
Yep, anyone within Widener. Now, I have no idea if the people in social work even know what this is. So that's something to keep in mind. We're sitting here going over this tool. Those people don't have that ability to be able to do that. So they might get this and say, what is this? So if they've seen doodles before, they're comfortable with doodles before, they know the doodle name. But if you're sending this to someone, hey, I'm gonna send out a new poll for you to find a time, it's within Outlook, maybe having that preemptive conversation until everyone on campus gets used to the tool. Otherwise, we're gonna get, I don't know what this is this real? They might think, you're sending them a phishing email or something, or somebody not
And
happy.
then the fishing.
No, they've never seen it before.
Right.
So
But
they'll
this is
have to-
nice because if it's right on your calendar,
Yeah.
maybe you get a doodle and then you have to put it in. And then I can never remember to write down the damn location.
Yeah.
And then I'm like trying to find it
Yeah, back and
now.
forth, back and
And I
forth.
forget, and I get the wrong day, like I had
Yeah.
wrong day, right date, right church.
Questions, concerns, or comments
This
on
is
that?
nice. Thank you, Ann.
All right, no problem. That was all I had for today, so unless you have anything else, I think that was a great hour and 5 minutes.
Another thing, can you do anything
So
with
it's
Excel?
to the doc.
Sure.
go to the site,
Like some
the doc,
basics, just,
Okay.
Where's?
that, I think that would really.
Yeah.
Well, I think in
Yeah.
multiple Excel sources, I had no idea that CSV files didn't save when you fix them, so. I always love refreshers for Excel.
Yeah, we
I
can,
know, I know, it's so little, but I
I know.
know.